Hey y'all, it's time for another Actors Grind Mindset Monday. Now, before I get into this week's topic, I want to introduce you to someone. This is Phoebe. Now, the reason why I chose a phoenix as my mascot or logo is because as actors, our job is to take this character and just live this full life off the page, on camera, and just really give it everything for real, and then walk away from that and then move on to the next audition, right? Because hopefully we're getting lots of auditions. And so we have to be able to rise from the ashes of that previous audition and then live a whole new full life in the next one. And then we have to do that over and over and over and over again. That's our job, as I discussed in the first video. So that's how Phoebe is. Like, we have to just really take on everything we're given, live that real full life, and then we have to let it go and just walk away from it and move on to the next one. And, it's hard. So this week's topic is about having a bad day, now that you've met Phoebe. As actors, we will have bad days. We'll have bad auditions. I've had bad days, bad auditions. I've had bad audition months, right? It's just the name of the game. Sometimes we're on, sometimes we're off. Like, that's just what it is. And we have to be able to work with that. We have to be able to move on from it and just live the next full life in our work. And it's really hard to do that when you have all of this noise and this negative talk and this mind trash that tells you, you're just thinking, oh man, I should have said this. I could have done that. This wasn't right for the character. Why did I do that? Oh my God. And we're doing all of this. We're thinking all of these things. And then we're looking at the date. The date that they're going to start shooting. And so we wait to hear from our agent, or we wait to hear from the director or whomever. And, and then it isn't until that date passes that we can actually start to let it go and then move on to the next thing. Well, meanwhile, while we're waiting for all of that time to pass, we may have gotten 2 or 3 auditions in the meantime, and you're not really focused on those auditions because you're so busy worrying about what you did or what happened in that one audition. How do we work? How do we live like that? It's hard. It is so hard. When I first started, that's all I did. I just, because I was a perfectionist. I'm still working on it, but I was a perfectionist. I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted my audition and my work to be right. And I did everything they wanted and what I thought they wanted and how I thought they think it should look. And if I didn't do that, then I would just beat myself up. I mean, constantly. It was a battle for real, and it hurts. And I'm doing it to myself. It's like, oh my gosh, it was extreme. I'm very competitive too, so I was very competitive with myself. I am very competitive with myself, but now it's more healthy. But then, it was just thinking about, man, I should have done this and I could have done that, and it's a constant battle and it's hard. You can't move on and live in this next full life of this audition if you're thinking about the previous audition and if you're thinking about all the things you didn't do right. So not only is your mind taken up by what this audition was, but it's taken up by negative thoughts about what this audition was or what you did or what you didn't do in that audition. And it's hard to live with that. It's hard to move forward when you're constantly living not only in the past, but in a negative past. It's done. Let it go. And I'm not saying forget it right when it happens. Work through your feelings and then let it go and move forward. And learn from that and take that lesson. That's what I do. Now what I do is because I still have bad auditions, you guys, it's just what we do. It's never going to be perfect. We can't live in this world of perfect because it doesn't exist. That's not reality. The characters we play are flawed because people are flawed. And the things we encounter are never perfect. So it's okay to not be perfect. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes progress. If you take the lesson and move forward with it, you're richer for it. That's the reality. It will never be perfect. That's the reality. And when you reconcile with that and you realize that, like I said in our first video, our job is to audition. It's not always going to be right. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be anything other than what it was. It'll never just be right, okay? So stop. I don't even want to use those words anymore. So this will be the last time I use those words in my videos. But it won't ever be perfect because that's not real. And, and it's not healthy for us. It's hard for us to move forward in our regular lives if our minds are always occupied by this negative talk and this mind trash that just takes over and convinces us that we are not worth it, that we just, oh, you messed up that audition, this isn't what you're supposed to do. Now it's got us questioning our entire life and existence. It's got us questioning whether we're even supposed to be actors. Like, it's a lot. That's why I do these videos, is because mindset for me is 90% of our business in the creative realm. It's 90%, because if your mind is telling you, and if the negative thoughts are telling you you're not good enough, you're not worth it, it's not time, it's not, if we're listening to all of these things that are holding us back, there's no way we can move forward. And if we do move forward and inch forward by some, by some stretch, we're not enjoying ourselves, because we're constantly having this thing in the back of our minds telling us, you don't deserve this. Why are you even here? That's rough. And it's hard to work that way. It's next to impossible to work that way. And if you do work that way, you can't be having fun, and it can't be that great, because holy smokes, that's a lot, right? So the reason I'm doing this video is because I want you to know it is okay to have bad days. Perfectly okay. One audition will never make or break your career. Ever. Ever. So let it go. Let it go and move on. What I'm telling you now is what I tell myself. Believe me. And the reason I do this is because I know I experience it, so I just assume other people do too. I want you to know you're not alone. It's okay. And you can move forward with it. You can move forward and move on from that. Okay, so one of the things I do, I have a goal book, and I've had this book since I started, and I keep adding things to it. And I like to, when I have bad days, I do it anyway, but especially when I have a bad audition or I've had bad days, I'll go to the goal book and I'll look at the things I put in my book and that I've been able to check off. That's awesome. And then other things I can add, like new goals I can add, because I'm constantly learning and moving and growing. And I love to learn. The day we stop learning is the day we die. So please learn as much as possible all the time. It's so great. It's so fun. But, so that's my goal book. And then I have my gratitude journal, which I believe I talked about in my first video also. So I'll look and I'll add 5 things I'm grateful for that day, because gratitude is just one of those phenomenons that just grows this optimism and this positivity and this peace and this joy that you can get from knowing you have so many wins. That's so many wins. The gratitude, those are all wins. And it doesn't matter how big or small they are, they're wins. And that's gotta feel great. So help yourself out by knowing that you are amazing. You're not perfect. Okay. Imagine how high the AC bill is in an ivory tower of being perfect. I won't do none of that. You're not going to be perfect. We're not perfect. And that's okay. That's great. Now let's move forward and enjoy what you do. Enjoy this journey, because as I discussed before, it's a marathon. This is a long one. And it's going to take you all these places, right? It's going to take you forward and a little back and then forward and then a little to the right and then back and to the left and all of the things. But you've got to find the beauty in all of it. And it's not easy. I know what I'm saying is not easy. It's not something you can pop in the microwave and it'll come out and it's done, right? This is something that we have to work on. But as actors, our mindset is everything. And if your mind is consumed with negative trash and thoughts of how you're not good enough, you didn't do enough, you didn't say the right thing or do the right thing, your wardrobe wasn't right, all this nonsense, all it can do is hold you back. None of that is serving you. It's not serving the work. It's not serving the world. So let it go. Be like Phoebe. Her cardio's on point. She just keeps going. You got it. You got it. And, have a community. Have people you know and trust when you need to talk about, man, let me tell you about this audition. I just can't believe. And then you can let it go. Get it out. Write it down and then let it go. Don't ever look back at it. Just let it go. Whatever you need to do to let that go. I'm here for you. Just hit me up. Whatever you need to do to be able to move forward in your journey with peace, make sure you do that. It's important because your peace of mind is everything. There's nothing more important than that. And it serves your work. When your peace of mind is there and you have that and you know for a fact you are enough, that's everything. So this week's video is all about it's okay to have bad days. You will have bad days. Just learn to let it go. Take the lesson and move forward. Grow from it. And you got it. All right? Okay. Oh, and my shirt, I know you can read it, but it says, know your worth, then add tax. You're enough. You're awesome. You're amazing. You're magical. You're the phoenix. It's a magical bird, people. Yeah, that's right. We do magic up in here. All right, y'all. Listen, if you have any topics you want me to talk about or discuss, if you have any suggestions, I'm all ears. I'm all open. Send me a DM. Drop a comment below. I like to say that. Subscribe to my YouTube page so we can get more of these videos out. If you want more of these videos, definitely hit me up. I'm going to keep doing this every week because I think it's important. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I hope this helped. I pray that you all have a wonderful, phenomenal, joy, peace-filled week. And, as always, be safe, be kind, and know you are enough. All right, y'all. Take care.